Hello everybody. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So this is the mount that I use for my camera. This one specifically on my tripod. The camera is currently in the same mount, just on my boom arm. The problem is, and you can see it here, if you look, let's see if we can get it to focus there. There's foam at the bottom here, and the sides of my phone are very rounded. And as a result, the phone actually kind of slides back. And so by the time you put it in here, if you push all the way up to the front, it should be like way up here, but it slides clear to the back. And part of it is because the foam compresses and all that kind of stuff. Like here's one that hasn't been used, and you can see how the foam isn't compressed there compared to this one, if I can get that one. And you can see how the foam's compressed there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, and much like I use these to make supports and all that kind of stuff for my Falcon, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a piece and glue it on here. So what I'll do is I'll peel the foam off, and then I'll glue this in place where the foam was. One of the things that I'll need to figure out is exactly where to glue it. Unfortunately, I need my phone to verify that for sure, but I can get really close for now. So the first thing I'll worry about is getting the width right. And so I'm just going to cut it here. And let me actually get something to mark that with. And there. Who said I can't be ambidextrous? Wrote with my left hand. How awesome was that? All right, so we got our length. Let's go ahead and get this piece cut off. Hopefully we can cut it semi-square. Not that it matters because we'll do some shaping and all that kind of stuff. So all right, so that's going to be our piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it black so it blends in. And so I'll paint the inside black and this part black. It'll all blend in. It'll look fine. So I'll go get this painted real quick. When we come back, we'll be peeling up this foam on this side. Okay, so that's getting painted and whatnot. So I'm just going to use my ruler here, get an idea of how thick my phone is. Pardon me while the whole thing shakes and shimmies. Okay. So it's 5 of these marks on the O scale, and it looks like they're 1/4 inch. So looks like I'm what is it, 8/16. So I'm looking at 5/16 of an inch. Okay, so that's all cleaned. Can't use that anymore. So, simply put, all we have to do is wait for that piece to dry. Once it's dry, we'll glue it in place, and I'll try it out. I would record that, but I'll be using my phone. See you guys back in a moment after that's done drying, and we'll get this glued in place. Well, here we are. We've got our piece painted. So we've got the facing part here is black, the backside's black, the bottom's white, which when we put it on here, it'll go something like that. And the only thing is you'll be able to see the white from the bottom side, but nobody's really going to be looking on the bottom side. So we just got to make sure we get enough glue here that we're not going to have too much of a problem. So one of the things I want to check is try to get an idea of like how deep to put the glue. So basically I need some way to mark that, and some way I think will come in the form of a silver Sharpie. So basically I'm just gonna put a couple dots here, and I'll put glue all the way up to those spots there. I want it to be nice and secure, so you can see the Sharpie marker there, and so I don't want to really skimp out too much on the glue. It doesn't have to be beautiful, it just has to be secure. I'll go through a little bit of extra effort to try to center it up best I can. Wow, that really set up super quick. That was a little unexpected. Alright, I guess I'll let that get good and dry, and we'll see how that goes. After that's dry, we'll test the phone on it and see how it works. Should hold it pretty well. The reason why I want to make sure it's good and secure is because there's going to be a lot of force pressing against it that way, so it's needs to be able to hold the shear pressure going against it that way. So oh, I didn't get black there. Doggone it. Wow, that's pretty secure now. All right. We'll let it set up a bit more. We'll come back in a few when that's dry. All right, here we are. It's all dry. You can see it's all dry here. I had to let it dry overnight actually, because when I pressed on this end here, the side away from the vertical part, glue was kind of oozing out or whatever. So I decided I wanted to let all that dry up and before I tested it out. So let's go ahead and test this. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to this little flexible mount, and we'll put the phone in there and see how it goes. So obviously you need to put the bottom in first, and just like that. Oh yeah, that works really, really well. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a slight gap at the bottom compared to the top. I'm perfectly okay with that because the whole point was to just make sure that the phone didn't shift afterwards, because what would happen was I'd put it in here and it'd be like this, and then about the time I start recording, it would just start kind of rotating and it would twist out, and so the phone would actually end up more along this angle as opposed to that angle there. So really, my whole idea was just I wanted it to stay in one plane, and not shift back and forth, you know. So I think that's going to work out really, really well. I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, taking it back out will be a tad bit of a challenge. You have to pull the top out first, whereas before I could just slide it out of the back, which is, you know, that's fine and all. I can kind of demonstrate here. So I always put the top in first before, and then slid the bottom in, whereas now, obviously, I have to put the bottom in first, and see, before I could just slide the bottom out and then bring the whole thing out. So no big deal, really. I could probably do that with another couple of these, although I don't know how many more of these I am going to need. I have one up here for my cell phone. I'm currently recording on my GoPro knockoff. Not a real big fan of the quality of that recording, so that's why I don't use it more often. But I may kind of switch. I'm gonna try to look for some different recording angles and stuff. So anyway, rambling. Um, thank you. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Take care.